This episode breaks down the mandatory triggers of California law to tell you exactly whether or not you will need a record of survey for your project.
Welcome back to Boundary Talk. I'm Candice, and with me is Mike, a man who knows exactly how many layers of rust are on a 1920s iron pipe. Today, we're talking about the mandatory map, the record of survey.
The record of survey. In California, it's the legal receipt of our work. It's not just a courtesy, it's a law. If we hit one of the triggers in the Professional Land Surveyors Act, we are legally bound to file a map with the county.
Exactly. Some clients think we're just being difficult when we say we have to file, but the law is very clear. If our survey reveals certain things, that information belongs to the public record, not just the client's private file. Today, we're breaking down Business and Professions Code Section 8762 and the board rules that keep us on the straight and narrow.
Part 1. The 5 legal triggers. The must-file list. Let's get into the weeds. Candice, read us the actual law, and I'll tell everyone what it means when I'm holding a shovel in a ditch.
Happy to. Under Section 8762, we have to file a record of survey if we find any of the following. Trigger 1, the new evidence trigger. Under 1, material evidence or physical change, which in whole or in part does not appear on any subdivision map, official map, or record of survey previously recorded, or map or survey record maintained by the Bureau of Land Management.
Translation: if I find an old stone mound or a physical boundary wall that's clearly being used as the line, but it's never been documented on a formal map at the county or the BLM, I've found new evidence. The public needs to know it exists so the next surveyor doesn't miss it.
Trigger 2, the math doesn't match trigger. A material discrepancy with the information contained in any subdivision map or record of survey previously recorded, limited to a material discrepancy in the position of points or lines or in dimensions.
This is the big one. If the old map says your property is exactly 100.000 feet wide, but my calibrated GPS and total station show it's actually 97.5 feet, that is a material discrepancy in dimension. I can't just ignore those 2.5 feet. I have to record it.
Trigger 3, the different opinion trigger. Evidence that, by reasonable analysis, might result in materially alternate positions of lines or points shown on any recorded map.
This is the surveyor fight clause. If I look at the same monuments as the guy in 1975, but I think his reasonable analysis was wrong and the line actually belongs somewhere else, I am legally required to show my work on a new map, so everyone can see why I moved the line.
Trigger 4. The gap in the record trigger. The location, relocation, establishment, reestablishment, or retracement of one or more points or lines not shown on any recorded map, the positions of which are not ascertainable from an inspection of the existing maps.
Basically, if I have to do a bunch of detective work to figure out where a corner is because the existing maps are vague or missing data, that retracement has to be recorded.
Trigger 5, the points or lines set during the performance of a field survey of any parcel described in any deed that are not shown on any subdivision map, official map, or record of survey.
Basically, if you have a meets and bounds deed, north 50 feet, then east 100 feet, but it's never been drawn on a recorded map, the first time I put those pins in the ground, I have to file a record of survey. Now, Candice, it's not just about what we file, it's about when. The board, BPELSG, doesn't let us sit on these maps forever.
That's right. Section 8762 also dictates the timeline. Once we finish the field survey and determine that a trigger has been met, we have 90 days to submit that map to the county surveyor.
And if we don't?
Then we're in violation of the Professional Land Surveyors Act. The board can issue citations, fines, or even suspend a license for failure to file. The board views the record of survey as a vital consumer protection tool. If we don't file, we are essentially hiding boundary discrepancies from the public.
Part 4, the County Examination, Section 8766. A lot of clients think once I finish the drawing, I just go down to the recorder's office and hand it over. It's not that easy.
Far from it. Once we submit the map, it goes through Section 8766, the examination. The county surveyor has to review the map for technical accuracy, math, and compliance with the law.
And they don't do it for free. Each county has its own check fee, which can be hundreds or even thousands of dollars. They check our math, our legal descriptions, and make sure we've tied the survey into the proper monuments.
This peer review can take weeks or months. If the county surveyor finds an error, they send it back, we fix it, send it back again. It's a rigorous process to ensure that once that map is recorded, it is as close to perfect as humanly possible.
Let's look at a real-world example of trigger number 2, material discrepancy, and trigger number 4, retracement in action. I was called out to a cul-de-sac in a 1980 subdivision. The client was Mrs. Gable. She wanted to build a pool. I found the original street monuments, the centerline pins, and the manholes, but when I measured to the property corners, every single house in that cul-de-sac was shifted 3.5 feet to the east compared to the original subdivision map.
3.5 feet. That's huge in a suburban neighborhood.
It's a disaster. I found the point set, trigger 5, but they created a material discrepancy with the recorded map, trigger 2. Mrs. Gable was furious. She said, "I'm not paying for a public map, just find my line."
But you couldn't, right?
No, if I just set her corners 3.5 feet away from her existing fence to match the old math, she would have been building a pool in her neighbor's yard. I had to retrace the lines, trigger 4, and file a record of survey.
By filing that map, Mike documented the error for the entire street. He showed that while the original map was wrong, the physical monuments in the ground were consistent. He fixed the neighborhood's DNA.
Mrs. Gable's pool went in safely, and 2 years later, when her neighbor sold her house, the title company saw my record of survey and cleared the title immediately. That $3,000 map saved that whole street from a $50,000 legal nightmare.
That's the power of a record of survey. It's the highest level of professional service we provide. It turns "I think" into "the record shows."
It's the law, it's a board requirement, and frankly, it's the only way to sleep at night as a surveyor.
Thank you for joining us on Boundary Talk. If you're a surveyor or a property owner and you want to hear more topics related to land surveying, please like and subscribe. It's free and helps out the channel.
Stay within your lines, folks. We'll see you in the field.